Hello guys, welcome back. Now in this session we are going to start discussing about Terraform variables. So let's look into the agenda. What are the topics we are going to cover in this session? So guys, in this session we will discuss about what actually the Terraform variables is. We will also understand that why to use variables in Terraform, and then we will write a program to understand the uses of the variable within Terraform. So let's start our discussion. So guys, what actually the variables is? I hope you must be knowing that what actually the variables is, because it is one of the basic thing in any of the programming language. But anyway, I will iterate the definition of the variable. Variable is nothing but a mechanism by which you can store the information within the memory, and that information we will access at runtime from different places within the program. So this is the formal definition of a variable, and within the Terraform the context of the variable is going to remain the same. That means we will create the variable, and that variable holds some information, and that information is being accessed through different blocks. Let's understand with an example. So guys, this is the diagram of the VPC, and you will see that VPC is using various resources like routing table, network ACL, security group. And if you are creating this infrastructure with the help of Terraform, then you need to write many repeated things within the TF file. For example, if you are having some CIDR block and that you want to allow within the security group, and for each of the security group you have to manage the IP of the CIDR block separately. That is very cumbersome task. If any changes comes, then you have to manually visit each of the places wherever the CIDR block IP is being used. You have to change it each places. That is very cumbersome task. But if you are using the variable, then this task is very easy. So to understand it better, let's write a Terraform program or TF file to create a security group resource, and where we will allow inbound rule for some of the port, and each of the port we will allow the CIDR block. So for this example, I am going to create a security group resource, and later in another part of the course we will design this project where we will create the entire VPC with the help of Terraform. For this particular example, to understand the variable, I am going to create security group resource with the help of Terraform to understand the variables. So we are into the Visual Studio Code, and as usual the first step we need to create a TF file, and over here we will tell that sg-aws tf. So sg for security group, I am going to create the security group resource, and over here I need to specify three blocks as usual. So we need to specify the Terraform block, then we need to specify the provider block, then we need to specify the resource block. Within the Terraform block we need to specify Terraform, and within that AWS. So let's specify AWS equal to, and within the curly braces we need to specify the source, and over here we will specify the source is our HashiCorp. So HashiCorp AWS. So we are done with the Terraform block. Next we need to create the provider block. So to create the provider block, I am going to specify the keyword provider, and over here I will tell AWS, and within that we need to specify the profile. For this case I am going to use default profile, and region again I am going to create everything within the North Virginia region, that is US East 1. Now let's come to the resource block. So resource wise I am going to create a security group. To create the security group we need to specify first resource, and then we need to specify AWS within double quotes, mention AWS underscore security group, and then we need to specify the name of the resource block. So over here I will tell that variable lab, and now within that I am going to specify name. The name of the security group is going to be the demo TF variables. Next I need to specify the ingress block, because I want to define the inbound rule. So for that I am going to specify ingress, and within that I need to tell that from port equal to 443. Then we need to specify the to port. So we will tell that to port equal to 443. Then protocol, which protocol I want to use, TCP. So we need to specify TCP over here, and then we need to specify the CIDR block. So I need to specify CIDR underscore blocks equal to, and within square bracket we need to specify the IP. So over here I will specify 10.0.0.0/24. So with the help of this line of code we are specifying that we are allowing 443 port. Now I am going to use the same thing for allowing the port 80. So here I am going to use the same line of code, and here I will do the changes. I will specify port 80. So here you notice that we are having the repetition of the code, and here we are specifying the IP which we want to whitelist. And consider a scenario in future this is going to be changed. So that means wherever these IP is being used, you need to visit those places and you need to do the changes manually, and the chances of error are very high as we are doing the changes within the multiple places. So to write more robust code as well as easy to maintain code, we will introduce the variable. So to create the variable, it is pretty much straightforward. We need to introduce a file and we will call it as variables.tf, and over here we will specify the variables. So to create a variables, we need to specify the keyword variable and the name of the variable. For this example, I am going to specify cider IP, and over here we will specify default and the IP which we want to use. So over here I will tell that 10.0.0.0/24. So this way you can create the variable within the Terraform. So how we can use this variable within this file, within this resource section? So to use the variable, you need to specify over here var and the name of the variable after dotted notation. So the name of the variable is cider and IP. We have used cider IP. So let's verify that. Yes, we have used cider IP. So copy this one and paste it over here. Now, so let's paste it over here. So now we have changed the static value with the variables. Now let's save it and let's run it. So to run it, as usual, we need to go to the terminal, and first we will write the Terraform init so that it will download the required provider, and then we will run the Terraform plan, and at last we will run the Terraform apply. So first we will write Terraform init so that it will download the required provider. So we got an error, and that is because we did a blunder over here. We have missed entirely a block that is called required underscore providers, and within that we need to specify AWS. Sorry for that. Now let's run it again. Let's write it Terraform init. So it is downloading the plugin and then it is installing it. The provider initialization has been done. You will see that we got the Terraform folder, .terraform folder over here. Now the next step, as usual, we need to specify Terraform plan. Let's run it, and now you can see it over here. You will find that it has given us the configuration detail about the security group, and over here if you will notice that the cider block information which is coming from the variable file which we have created over here, that we are getting over here. That means it is resolving that variables. So now let's go ahead and we will create the security group within the AWS. So let's apply it, Terraform apply, enter. So it will create the security group within the AWS. As usual, it is asking for confirmation. You need to specify yes over here. It is throwing an error. We did a mistake, and over here it should be TCP. Now let's run it again. Terraform plan. Now let's apply it. Terraform apply, enter. Specify yes over here, enter. So now it has created the security group. Let's verify it. So we are into the security group console, and over here you will see that this is the resource which we have created, and within the inbound rule, if we will go, then we have specified this. So now you must be asking that what is the benefit of using the variables? So suppose if you want to change all the cider IP, then you can do directly changes within the variable file over here, and it would be reflected to the each of the places wherever this variable is being used. So that means you will do the changes at single place and it will be reflected to the all the places wherever this variable is being used. So let's do it. I have already done. Now I am saving it, and now let's do Terraform apply again, and let's look into that whether it is applying the new cider IP to the security group or not. So let's write Terraform apply. So over here you will notice that it is telling that one change is within your current configuration. So we will specify yes. So it has applied the changes. Let's verify it. So let's refresh it, and over here you will see that whatever the new cider block IP we have introduced, it is being applied over here. So you can imagine how powerful it is. And this is what I wanted to demonstrate you in this session. So let's sum up the session. So guys, we have started with the question what actually the Terraform variables is. Then we have also understand why to use Terraform variables, and all these things we have understand with the demo where we have created the security group, and within that resource block we have used the variable. So on this note, I am stopping over here. See you in the next session. Till then, bye bye, take care.